Hello, welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm going to be working on two hops in one. First up is 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life series number 14. Today is day number 17. Our sketch was created by Lisa Marie. I will have any of her social media links that I can find listed below, as well as the playlist for this month's 30 Days of Sketches. I am also participating in a brand new hop to me called Stretch the Sketch. And this is the sketch that Galaxy Girl Creations has chosen for us to do this hop. And it's just like it says, you take a sketch and you stretch it. In this case, Janet said that this is an 8.5 by 11 sketch, and you can make it bigger, 12 by 12. You can make it smaller, just cannot be the same size. I am actually going to create a 2-page layout from my recent cruise, and I printed a bunch of photos. May or may not use all of these. The pool photo didn't print correctly the first time I printed. I had to reprint it, but I have these photos. I have Spectrum Sherbet, which I've been trying to use up and has been included in my cruise album that I have almost finished, and I just have a few random layouts to put in it. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video. I'm going to make a few cuts. I know that I am using these two blue papers as my base for this 2-page layout, but I've got to make some cuts. I've got to get the branding strips off the back of them, and I will be right back. All right, I kind of did some cutting and trimming and digging through all of the ephemera and little bits and pulled pieces that I knew that I would like to see used on here. Now, one of the items that I included for this layout, you see over to that left-hand side is, it's like an acrylic piece, but it's a thin, transparent piece, and it is probably one of the oldest items in my stash. There were 3 of them in the little packaging. The green one, a blue one, and a pink one. And I stuck them in with this 49 Market Sherbet, Spectrum Sherbet, because they matched perfectly. And so I'm going to use that right where you see it on that left-hand side of the first page. You can also see that I took the green piece of pattern paper. I cut 2 inches off of it, the top, and then I cut it in half. And so it's going to be on each side of this 2-page layout. Now, if you are not familiar with me, when I create a 2-page layout on camera, I tape them together with washi tape so that if I'm trying to get things to match up, it's easier for me to do so. So that is why there is some cute little bunny washi at the top and bottom of my background pages. You do have to put them on your clothes before you stick them on your paper, otherwise you rip your paper, which I did anyway, but it looks okay because I have scuffed up edges and added splatters, and it just kind of melds into the background when we're all said and done. Now, you might be wondering why I'm scuffing my photo edges. I had somebody ask once why I do this. There's a couple of reasons why I do it. The first reason, which is why I'm doing it for this, is because I'm not going to mat these photos, but I want a little bit of differentiation between the photos when I lay them out on my layout. So scuffing up the edges just a tiny bit brings out that white core of the photo paper that I use to print my photos, and just kind of gives you a little bit of differentiation between each photo without adding a photo mat. Yes, I could have added photo mats to do the same thing. I really didn't want to do that because I wanted to get all 6 of these photos on this 2-page layout, and I wanted to line them up. I printed them small so that they would fit, and I didn't want to add any more bulk. Now, I'm going to be covering up a lot of what's on that left-hand side of the green paper, and really I just used that for color because I'm going to be using the bulk of my color is going to be the blue and the green, although I do add in the other colors that come with Spectrum Sherbert. And I just wanted to kind of point that out first. Now, in a previous video, I told you I didn't have any 49 and Market viewfinders. I opened up my Spectrum Sherbert. There were 2. So I lied to you on camera. That's fine, because I'm going to use them both on this layout. And as you saw, I scuffed up the edges of the viewfinders as well. Now, this 4 square paper that I'm scuffing up is actually the packaging. You'll see that here in a minute when I flip it over to put adhesive on it. And I'm very proud of myself for using that, because as you know, if you are a fan of 49 and Market, you know that their packaging is almost always usable on one side. Sometimes it's cut aparts, and sometimes you can just use what's on the back. Now this may have had cut aparts, like flowers or other bits on it before I cut it apart, because I've used it on another layout. I don't remember, to be honest, but I loved that I got to pull in more color with those pieces of pattern paper, and it gives me that landscape piece of pattern paper that is on the sketch as well, and it allows me to bring it on both sides. You saw I used liquid adhesive on that transparent piece. Typically that is enough glue. I will also be tacking it down with some of my embellishments. Now, as you noticed, I have, for the left side, I have 2 portrait mode photos and 1 landscape mode photo. And originally I was going to put the landscape photo below, but instead I decided to just line it up just like I did on the right hand side and use that bare space to pull in my title. That does mean that my title ends up in a different location than is on the original sketch, and I am absolutely okay with that, because I'm trying to stretch this sketch, and it would be kind of difficult for me to find a better location for my title. Now this title came from Hip Kit Club, and it is very, very sticky, and so it's sticking to my hands as I use my nail file to kind of scuff up those edges just a little bit. And I realize that it is more purpley than it is blue, but I feel like it goes well enough with this collection that it doesn't stand out too much. So I'm going to use this banner piece and some film strip pieces. These are from the laser die cut sets and ephemera packs that I bought with Spectrum Sherbert. I did not buy the entire collection of Spectrum Sherbert. If I recall correctly, you could buy different color collections, and I chose the blue and the green, and then some of the laser die cuts that had all of the colors, and just decided to stop there because that was a really large collection, and I have an extensive stash of 49 and Market, and I really need to be using it, so I didn't want to add too much, but it was one of those collections I just had to have. So I'm scuffing up the edges of the second film strip, and that's kind of a nod to Lisa Marie's banner embellishment cluster that she had up on that sketch on the upper left hand corner. I will be bringing that same or a similar cluster down on my lower right hand corner just to draw your eyes across this page. I am not going to do a whole lot of embellishment here. I feel like if I do too much more than I put on here, that I'm going to overwhelm my photos. And for me, this is about the photos and story as much as it is about playing with pretty paper. So I want to leave room for your eyes to focus on these photos. These photos are from Grey Cliff Hotel and Restaurant in Nassau. My sister and I did a walking tour on our own because our excursion got canceled due to choppy weather, and so we just did a walking tour. She found a guide on YouTube and she used that to take us around, and it was quite fun and we enjoyed ourselves. And I feel like that we got to stop at locations that we wanted to stop at a lot more than we would have had we been with a group. so we could stop and take photos without feeling rushed. And it was a really good time. And this hotel was really cool. It had some really interesting things. I think I read on the website that it has 16 rooms, and their restaurant is a 5-star restaurant, the first in Nassau. So I thought that was super cool. Okay, I got it done. I did some splatters off camera. I used my favorite Delusions white linen. I used cracked pistachio in Distress Oxide, and I used Hickory Smoke in Distress Oxide. Couldn't find it there. I am infamous for losing things right in front of me, so there's that. The splatters are still a little bit wet, so I don't want to pick this up too much. I did get my journaling down. I popped up a couple things here and here on foam adhesive, and just everything else I did on camera except for those splatters. I did glue everything down, so it is finished and complete. So I'm hoping that you can see where I got my inspiration from on this sketch. I took her embellishment cluster here and created one there, and then I flipped it and put it down here so that it would bring your eyeballs across. I also made sure I did some layering, so I've got this lengthwise layering on both sides, and if you saw, I'm very proud of myself, I actually used the packaging from the paper collection. I used the back side of it. That is awesome that 49 Market does that. I did find 2 small viewfinders, and I put one here and then the smaller one here. Used this little area where my photo wasn't in portrait mode for my title. Layered my title a little bit. That title came from a Hip Kit Club kit. It is not 49 Market. The rest of the product on this layout is 49 Market. So I want to thank you so much for coming to my channel today. Please don't forget that there is a playlist for 30 days of sketches down below. There is also going to be a list of creators for Stretch the Sketch. Thank you, Lisa Marie, for a gorgeous sketch to play with, and it has been absolutely my pleasure playing with this sketch. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.